So it's 2:35 in the morning, and this raw spicy chicken sandwich is what I was given through the Burger King.
Burger Kings in America are the complete opposite, with Burger King known for having dirty restaurants, a basic menu, and expensive meals.
I'm saying, I think part of this burger is actually cold. I'm going like 2 out of 10.
In a country where burgers are practically a national symbol, no one ever thought the real threat might be hiding inside the beef patty itself. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, once the gold standard of fast food, are now at the center of viral warning videos.
Uncooked onions found in the quarter-pounder burger.
Health officials are investigating a deadly E. coli outbreak involving McDonald's quarter-pounder burgers.
Health officials say at least 15 patients who ate at various restaurants have been sickened in Minnesota, including 2 who were hospitalized.
Burgers with strange smells, foreign objects, or patties so soft and mushy they seem to be made from something no one wants to name. For years, many older Americans believed that buying a burger from a major chain was the safest choice. But if you've ever opened that burger box to find a patty pressed from scraps stuck to the wrapper and reeking before it even touches your lips, you know just how betrayed it feels to be let down by a brand you once trusted. In this video, we'll uncover 5 major burger chains that Americans, especially those with chronic conditions or who take daily medications, might want to seriously rethink before ordering from. Because sometimes the scariest thing isn't out there. It's right inside the burger you thought was simple and safe. Number 1, Burger King. Burger King was once a symbol of that unmistakable real grilled experience. Burgers cooked fresh, smoky, thick and hot off the flame. But that was years ago. What many Americans, especially those over 50, are holding in their hands today hardly resembles something made with care or meant to be respected. The first question we should ask is that beef patty still grilled in any real sense of the word? Search Burger King, patty raw, or Burger King greasy meat on any social media platform. You'll find hundreds of videos, burgers with charred edges on the outside, but still pink and dripping in the middle, giving off a strange, gamey smell. In some clips, the patty slides off the bun, revealing a thick layer of congealed fat underneath. These aren't rumors. They're first-hand accounts from real customers all across the country. Why is this so alarming? Because today's Burger King customers aren't just teenagers grabbing a quick bite. Many are blue-collar workers, truck drivers, retirees. They're choosing Burger King because it seems more affordable than the competition. And that budget-conscious choice is exactly what's putting them at risk. Older adults don't digest food the way they used to. A single undercooked patty, one carrying E. coli or salmonella, can lead not just to stomach cramps, but kidney failure or even death if left untreated. In June 2025, consumer groups in Ohio, Texas, and Florida began reporting that Burger King burgers just don't taste the same anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't a very nice burger. And I've been brutal about the burgers, but this one was just horrible.
Not because their palates changed, but because the meat had become soft, greasy, and nauseating. One Reddit user in Columbus, Ohio wrote, "I took one bite and instantly thought I was chewing on a grease-soaked rag, not a beef patty. So what's going on?" Former employees from Burger King locations in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia have spoken out on various forums revealing that patties are often pre-grilled in large batches in the morning, then left to sit in steam trays all day. When an order comes in, the patty is simply slapped onto the bun and wrapped. It's a time saver for the store, but it leaves the meat mushy, flavorless, and in some cases, developing an unpleasant film. Even worse, quality control at many franchise locations is frighteningly lax. According to a leaked internal report published by Franchise Insider, only 1 out of 7 Burger King stores in the Southeast consistently performed proper temperature checks on stored meat. This has led to what insiders call meat drift, expired or borderline meat being kept and served to cut costs. Imagine biting into a burger made with beef that should have been tossed out 2 days ago. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or a sensitive stomach, think about what a poorly handled burger could do: diarrhea, dehydration, even hospitalization due to electrolyte imbalance. Another disturbing trend, Burger King's response when customers complain. Rather than investigating the issue, many report receiving generic apology emails or discount vouchers. But can a $2 coupon really undo a health scare? Can it ease the anxiety of a 65-year-old man who just ate a burger that smelled off? To be clear, not every Burger King location is bad, but the inconsistency in food safety protocols combined with aggressive cost-cutting during a time of inflation is causing the chain to lose the trust of even its most loyal fans. You might have loved Burger King, You might have grown up holding a Whopper. But now in an age where clean, safe beef is no longer guaranteed, and when your body doesn't bounce back like it used to, it's worth asking, is this still the place you want to trust with your meal? Have you ever had a strange experience with their burgers? Share your story, because chances are you're not alone. Number 2, Wendys. There's one thing many Americans, especially baby boomers, have long trusted about Wendys: they use fresh, never frozen beef. That slogan gave people a sense of honesty and tradition, like Wendys was still making burgers the same way it did 30 years ago. But sometimes what people believe is fresh may actually carry the biggest risks. Over the past 2 years, Wendys has seen significant revenue growth, largely thanks to its fresh, never frozen branding. But behind that shiny marketing lies a wave of internal reports, customer complaints, and viral social media videos, raising the question, sure, the beef is fresh, but is it being handled properly? One viral video recently showed a Wendy's burger being cooked so hastily that the patty was still red and undercooked inside. The uploader, a delivery driver, said the burger was leaking red juice when handed to the customer. In the comments, dozens of people shared similar stories. I had to microwave the patty myself because it was still raw. I thought I had food poisoning. My stomach was cramping within 30 minutes. The issue: when you use fresh beef, the shelf life becomes incredibly short. That requires strict protocols for storage prep and inventory rotation. But at hundreds of Wendy's locations nationwide, employees report being rushed, sometimes told to serve burgers before they reach safe cooking temperatures just to meet the under 2-minute service goal. If you're thinking maybe it's just a few isolated cases, take a look at data from local health departments. In the first 8 months of 2025, complaints about undercooked or off-smelling meat at Wendy's rose by over 27% compared to the same period last year, particularly in southern states like Georgia, Louisiana, and Mississippi. And it's not just raw meat. At some locations, customers say their burgers had a sour odor, bluish-green patches on the patty, and a slimy texture that didn't resemble real beef. One theory: to cut costs. Some franchisees may be blending beef with moisture retention agents or cheaper byproduct meats. For someone managing high cholesterol or heart conditions, those additives are exactly the kind of thing to avoid. But how would you know holding a burger proudly stamped with fresh? The answer: you wouldn't. Several former Wendy's employees in states like Illinois and Pennsylvania have even claimed that some stores skip checking expiration dates. "We were told to just re-sticker the meat if it hadn't changed color," one said in a TikTok video that's been viewed over 3 million times since July. Wendy's was once seen as the healthier, more trustworthy alternative to McDonald's or Burger King, thanks to its less frozen, more fresh philosophy. But ironically, that slogan has become a double-edged sword, because when you set expectations high around the word fresh, any mistake becomes twice as disappointing. It doesn't stop there. Many older customers have shared that staff at some Wendy's branches ignore special requests like well-done patty or no mystery sauces. For people with compromised immune systems or underlying conditions like diabetes or colitis, their food needs to be clearly cooked, predictable, and safe. But at Wendy's today, that's not always guaranteed. So if you're wondering whether the fresh, never frozen promise still holds up, maybe the best answer lies in your own experience. The last time you had Wendy's, was the patty flavorful, firm, unmistakably beef, or just a soft, shapeless mass? Wendy's isn't the worst burger chain out there, but because they claim to uphold a higher standard, any slip-up deserves even closer scrutiny. And in a time when health feels more fragile than ever, trust is no longer something you can afford to gamble. Number 3, Jack in the Box. Ask any American over 55 if they've ever eaten a burger from Jack in the Box, and most will nod. But ask if they still eat there, and you'll likely hear, "No, I'm not willing to risk it." Jack in the Box was a fast food leader back in the 90s, but in 2025, the brand is getting more attention for viral clips showing chaotic storage rooms, meat boxes chewed through by rodents, and kitchen staff wearing heavy masks just to step into the food prep area. It's not sci-fi. It's real footage that's been blowing up on TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit. In July 2025, a 17-second video made the rounds showing a Jack in the Box burger patty that looked like it was formed from frozen meat paste. Uneven, squishy, and left a deep dent when pressed, almost like tofu. The caption: "This ain't beef, this is mystery sponge." The clip racked up over 6 million views in just 3 days. But it's not just about how it looks. Consumer Alert Weekly recently reported that Jack in the Box is one of the few national chains still relying heavily on long-term frozen meat supply, with some inventory sitting in warehouses for up to 60 days after production. That means the beef in your burger today might have left the slaughterhouse 2 months ago. And if there's even a few hours of temperature issues during transport, bacteria can multiply fast. Much faster than you'd think. On forums like AARP, older customers have shared that after eating Jack in the Box for lunch, they ended up at urgent care by evening with diarrhea, stomach cramps, and low-grade fevers. Tests often came back as non-specific gastrointestinal infections. While no single burger can be proven to cause it all when your story sounds exactly like hundreds of others, is it really just a coincidence? Another concern? Internal food safety checks. Unlike bigger chains that follow strict HACCP protocols, several Jack in the Box locations, especially in suburban areas of Arizona, New Mexico, and Oklahoma, reportedly don't even keep temperature logs for meat on site. That means quality can vary wildly depending on where you are. You might get a properly cooked burger in Los Angeles, but an undercooked patty in El Paso. And it's not just the meat. For many over 50, the real worry is kitchen sanitation. A former employee in Houston revealed that grilling tools were often just wiped with a dry cloth instead of washed with hot water and sanitizer. They'd rush us to keep up during peak hours, so we'd just do a quick wipe and keep going, they said in a YouTube interview from June 2025, complete with shocking visuals. Even more troubling, high employee turnover has made staff training inconsistent. Many locations now rely on rushed onboarding, leading to clumsy prep work and poor oversight. That's how customers end up with burnt burgers, raw burgers, or worse. Burgers containing small metal shavings from faulty slicers, like the confirmed case in Bakersfield, California back in May. For older adults, even a minor mistake in food prep can become a major health risk. No one wants to spend hundreds on medication or 3 nights in the hospital just because of one bad lunch. You might still think of Jack in the Box as a quirky, cheap, convenient option. But right now, it's worth asking yourself, what's the real cost a few bucks for a quick meal? Or your long-term health? Have you eaten at Jack in the Box lately? Did the burger taste like you remembered? Share your experience. It might help someone else avoid a worse outcome. Number 4, Five Guys. Among America's most beloved burger chains, Five Guys has consistently ranked near the top thanks to its casual service style, hefty portions, and burgers cooked right in front of you, which looks impressively fresh. For many Americans, over 50 Five Guys has often felt like the safer choice, giving off the comforting sense that you can see exactly how your meal is being made. But what you see is sometimes only part of the story. Five Guys has branded itself as a premium burger chain, meaning higher quality than average. But in the rush to expand rapidly over the past 3 years, the company has run into serious trouble losing control of its supply chain. An independent investigation by a consumer group in Massachusetts found that nearly 1/3 of the beef delivered to Five Guys locations in the Northeast came without any clear source tracking labels. In other words, you may be eating a premium beef patty without knowing where it came from, how it was transported, or how it was stored before it hit your plate. That's not something you can afford to ignore, especially if you're over 55 and have a history of gastritis or digestive issues. Why? Because bacteria like Listeria or Campylobacter, if present in this kind of untraceable meat, can seriously impact your already vulnerable digestive and immune systems. And that's not the only concern. Five Guys proudly touts the fact that they never freeze their meat, but that means they're fully dependent on daily fresh deliveries. According to leaked data from a distributor in California in June alone, there were over 80 delayed deliveries to Five Guys outlets due to staff shortages and refrigeration truck failures. As a result, many batches of beef were left out of cold storage for far too long, giving bacteria the perfect window to multiply well beyond safe limits. One former employee from a Denver location shared anonymously, "There were days meat arrived 5 hours late and management still had us refrigerate and use it that same day. No one checked how long it had been sitting at room temp. If you're older or have a weakened immune system, the risk isn't in the flavor. It's in what your eyes can't see." Visually, you might have thought Five Guys burgers were soft, rich, and melt in your mouth. But several recent viral videos paint a less appetizing picture. Burgers leaking excessive grease, soaking through the cardboard box and dripping onto customers' hands. One TikTok clip with over 1.2 million views described it as a ball of deep-fried oil shaped like a burger for older adults, especially those monitoring cholesterol or dealing with fatty liver disease. This kind of meal could be more than just uncomfortable. It could be dangerous. And the signature oversized portions Five Guys is known for, once considered a perk, are now raising concerns. A double patty burger with a side of oil-drenched fries adds up to more than 200 calories, far above the recommended intake for a senior's main meal. The problem? Most customers are never warned. There are no clear labels, no nutritional guidance at the counter. Everything is left to your personal judgment, which is risky if you're managing a condition or taking daily medication. On the customer service front, Five Guys is also catching flack for being too quiet in response to negative feedback. Many people on Facebook have reported receiving only a canned apology when flagging issues like undercooked burgers or strange odors. No explanation, no follow-up, no investigation. That's a major red flag at a time when consumers are demanding more transparency than ever. You may have once believed that eating at Five Guys meant choosing something higher in quality. But now, in an era of rising operating costs, labor shortages, and supply chain disruption, can we really say that premium still holds true? Ask yourself the last time you had a burger. Here, was there anything that gave you pause? The taste. How you felt afterward, your body's response. These are all signals worth paying attention to, because one day, it may not be the burger in your hand you're eating in the morning. It might be a new round of antibiotics. Number 5, McDonald's. If there's one fast food item that nearly every American has tried at least once, it's a McDonald's burger. For older generations, especially those born in the post-war years, McDonald's isn't just a quick bite, it's a memory, a symbol of youth, a convenience deeply woven into the rhythm of American life. But in 2025, can McDonald's still live up to that legacy? You don't have to look far for answers. Over the past few months, what's been unfolding at McDonald's locations across the US has made many consumers start to question even their most familiar eating habits. The issue isn't the ingredients. McDonald's still proudly advertises its use of 100% beef with no preservatives. But with great fame comes great volume, and with that comes a challenge few people talk about: extreme industrialization of the cooking process. According to a former store manager in Indiana, during peak hours, staff are required to assemble a full burger in under 25 seconds, from grill to box. The result: patties that are often undercooked or pressed so hard onto the grill that they lose their natural texture. The burger might look perfect but taste oddly bland, spongy, and, shockingly, lacking even the smell of beef. For people over 50, who often have a more refined sense for real meat, that experience is more than disappointing. It sparks concern: what cut of meat is this exactly? Could it be just scraps compressed into shape like the filler-heavy patties used in many mass-produced food chains? Back in June, an internal report from California's Food Safety Board revealed that 12 McDonald's outlets in the state were found storing patties past their recommended shelf life. Some even showed signs of being thawed and refrozen. While those stores later took corrective action, the news left many older adults uneasy, especially those with sensitive digestive systems who can't afford to gamble on food safety. There's another risk tied to speed quality control. Have you ever noticed that when you get your McDonald's burger, you almost always have to check it yourself to see if it's got the right topping sauce, or if it's cooked properly? That's not an accident. Multiple users on Reddit have posted about burgers arriving with sauce leaking out the side or meat slices so misaligned that the insides were exposed, creating the perfect opportunity for airborne bacteria to make contact if the food isn't eaten immediately. And that's not the end of it. According to a quality audit by an independent team in Texas, the average Big Mac contains about 1080 mg of sodium, almost half the daily recommended limit for older adults. That's a red flag for anyone managing blood pressure or heart disease. Yet many customers have no idea. There are no clear warning labels at the counter, no in-person nutrition advice. All the important dietary information lives quietly in an app or on the website, places where most people over 55 rarely go. There's another downside: the growing sense of disconnection. In recent years, McDonald's has steadily replaced front counter staff with self-service kiosks. While it may speed up lines for some, it creates a frustrating barrier for older customers, many of whom aren't tech-savvy. It's not uncommon to see a senior standing in front of the machine for minutes, confused, unsure how to select the burger they want. And when they ask for help, they're often met with impatience. That kind of negative experience has led many to walk away without ordering a thing. McDonald's still holds enormous influence, but in today's environment, that influence comes with a heavy burden. When you're serving millions every day, even the smallest mistakes can have big consequences, especially for people who are older, managing chronic conditions, or in recovery. So if you still see the McDonald's burger as the safest or most familiar choice, take a moment to look more closely. Does the meat still feel firm? Does it still smell the way you remember? And after eating, do you feel as comfortable as you used to? Try asking yourself those questions before you place your next order. You may have once thought, it's just a burger. What's the big deal? But after a wave of scandals, leaked kitchen footage, and a flood of complaints across social media, it's time for consumers, especially those over 50, to start asking the hard question: is the food we eat every day still safe? From McDonald's and Burger King to Five Guys, every chain has its own problems: overworked kitchens, poor quality control, broken cold chains, excessive oil and sodium. These aren't just unfortunate incidents. They're the predictable consequences of a system that's prioritized speed and scale over transparency and genuine care. As we age, every meal decision becomes more than just a question of taste. It becomes a choice between health and risk. A $5 burger could lead to a $500, or even $5,000 hospital bill if we stop paying attention.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage segregation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.